Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we will analyze a poem. So, the poem we are going to analyze today will be a poem by Emily Dickinson called Because I Could Not Stop for Death. Okay, so to analyze a poem, we have to do six things. Number one, the first thing we have to do is review the author's background. So, and let me go back a little bit. To analyze means to closely examine. So the first thing, in order to understand Miss Dickinson's work, we have to understand where she came from and a little bit of what she's been through. So, Emily was born in 1830 and she died in 1886 in Amherst, Massachusetts. She was only 56 years old. So, by her being born in 1830, she grew up around the time of the height of the Civil War, and she died around the time when the Civil War was over, but women still weren't free and they still didn't have the right to vote. So, in discussing that backdrop about Dickinson, that helps us to understand her point of view and the messages that she's trying to send to us through her work. She's so one thing she's trying to say is that women didn't really have very many rights. They were still seen as being as unequal to men, and she really was a depressed person, and it sounds like she really wanted to die. And we'll see that in her work. That's just a little preview. Here's a picture of Miss Emily. And although she doesn't look very happy in the picture, I do know at those times, in that time period, people didn't smile in pictures. They were taught to be still and have a serious demeanor. Okay? And another thing that gives us a clue that Emily wasn't recognized the way she felt she should have been was the fact that her work was published posthumously in 1890. So basically, all of her work was published after she was dead. So she wasn't even celebrated as the talented poet that she was when she was alive. So that tells us a lot about what we're about to read. So that's step number one. Looking into her background tells us a lot about what we're about to read from her, because almost all the time authors write about what they know. They either know it firsthand or they've seen it firsthand. So that's one thing. Okay. So, step 2. We look at the title and we examine the title. So the title is Because I Could Not Stop for Death. Okay, so that title, Dickinson is trying to send the message to us. So, well, you have to ask yourself, what message is Dickinson trying to send to the readers with that title? And the message is that when a person could not stop for death, they didn't want to stop for death, so they died before their time. So that's the significance of the title. And to get to the significance of the title, you have to ask yourself, what is the author trying to say to us through the title, even before we read the work? And that's what she's saying. So, because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. So here, so what is Dickinson? So you have to ask yourself, in order to examine this, what is she trying to say to us? So she's saying because she could not stop for death. Now do notice that we capitalize when we what do we capitalize? We capitalize proper nouns, proper person, proper people, places, and things. So she's capitalized death. And even though death isn't a person, she's made death a person in this poem. So she's basically personifying death. So that's a literary device that she's using. And that is a deep message. She's in making death, in capitalizing death in this poem and giving death human qualities. She's showing a type of fear, not necessarily a respect, but a type of fear. So she couldn't stop for death, but death kindly stopped for her. So she was living her life, and death stopped her life. She felt herself dying, but she kept living her life, and death stopped that life. So when the carriage held but just above ourselves, so she's talking about the carriage. Inside of the carriage was just her and death. So the narrator is basically looking at herself being driven to the cemetery to be buried. Pretty deep. So, and to get to these answers, you have to ask yourself, what is Dickinson conveying to us? And that's the message that she's conveying. Also, what's her point of view? What's her point of view in this poem? She's using I and he. So you have to look at that. So that's first person point of view. And that means, and that's another clue that gives that's a dead ringer, that she's already in the spiritual. She's writing the poem from a point of view where she's already in the spiritual realm, and she's watching herself in the process of being interred or being buried. So let's keep going. We slowly drove, he knew no haste, and I had put away my labor and my leisure too for his civility. So, as they slowly drove to the cemetery, he knew no haste. So he was in no hurry. And she had put away her labor and her leisure. So she basically stopped her life. What is she saying? She's saying that she stopped everything she was doing and transitioned into death. So, in finding the theme of this poem, because we know what she's saying. So, in examining the theme, you have to ask yourself, what is Dickinson trying to say to us? And when you answer that question, that's when you have found the theme. Your next step, you have to summarize the poem. And in summarizing the poem, after you just put the theme into your own, you just put the theme into your own words. You've read the passage, you have to ask yourself what you just read, and then you put the message, what the author is trying to say to us, in your own words. So for me, I would say that she's dead, she's transitioned, she's passed away, and she can see her earthly body being driven to the cemetery for her burial. Your final step is reflecting on the work. Ask yourself what you've learned. Ask yourself, ask yourself, well, ask yourself what you've learned. Ask yourself what you didn't know. Is there something else that you don't know that you would like to inquire more about? And are there any connections in any way? Does this connect to something relevant? I mean, it could even connect, for me, it could connect to an outer body experience that someone has had. I mean, there are a lot of directions that you can go here. So those are the steps that you use to analyze your poem. In addition to looking at punctuation, looking at the rhyme scheme, the literary devices, which we saw personification. That was one. That was a big one. Symbolism, and then imagery. What kind of picture is Dickinson painting? And that's it. I hope you all have a great day today. Class dismissed.